So the customer concern is Stabilitrak and brake assist message on the dash in the center, and then we got the traction control icon there, and then we got ABS. So I hooked up the scan tool itself. We have these three codes here. This code U0121 code is being thrown because of the C0050, which is for the right rear wheel speed sensor. This is just thrown because of the fact that this code is present. We're going to go to live data and ABS. We're looking for the wheel speed sensors. Let's do a custom display. And it's the right rear wheel speed sensor that has a fault code. So I'm gonna do my best to record this for you while driving and looking at it myself. So bear with me. I already hear something like it's grinding back there really good. That could be the bearing itself as well. Not sure if you're catching it in the camera since it is happening very quickly, but we do have a scenario where the wheel speed sensor is not completely dead, but it is going from like 24 to 0, 12 to 0, and it cuts out for an instant and then comes back alive. What we're looking for is either bearing play in the back right wheel bearing because I can hear a grinding noise, or we're going to look for a failed magnetic strip on the back of the wheel hub assembly itself. Before I turn the scan tool off, I just wanted to show you my saved data from the test drive, just so you could see a really good visual on what was happening during the test drive. This is the left front and the right front. These two are functional, and as you can see, they match almost identical. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of variation, but this is what you're looking for. And this is the left rear and the right rear. And of course, the right rear is the one that we're seeing issues with. It follows almost the same exact curve that the left rear does, but as you can see, it just drops out in random areas ever so slightly. In some areas, super drastic, such as here. But as you can see, right in this area, the red line's covering it up right now, but it's another dip point, just like that part right there was. But with these two lined up in the exact same area off of the same line, the left rear was at 24, and the back dropped down to 12, and then instantly spiked back up to, let's fast forward this, instantly spiked back up to 24. Let's jack this up. So we got the vehicle lifted up, wheels able to spin. Okay, I got the flash turned on, and we're looking at this part right here, right on the bottom, this area here. So if you just follow that, you're gonna see our problem fairly quickly. Right there, right here, we're missing a chunk of the magnet. Up here is the wheel speed sensor itself. So when we turn this, right when it gets to that point there, it drops down. So that's why we were having not a 100% failure on our live readout, but we had a slight dropout randomly. Now we're on the back left side, and I just want to use this as an example as what a good one looks like. As you can see, the ring itself is not bubbling outward, and we do not have any gaps in the magnetic strip at all. Okay, so the customer confirmed us doing the job, and we actually have a pretty loose schedule today. just because I didn't know how the weather was gonna be. So we're doing the repair on the same day that we diagnose. The parts store had the part in stock. I will catch you after I have the part and we're back at the vehicle. Okie dokie. Now we got to get the jack back out, tire off, and let's get after it. Tire is off. These are a 22. We're gonna get this Torx bit off, and this is a T30. Before we can get these out, we got to get this bolt out because this is in the way of that bolt. Put your jack on the underside of the control arm. This side's a 21. This side is also a 21, but put a wrench on it. Zip this out. I got the nut off, this halfway out, just like that. This is loose. We can take the bolt out, put it with our nut so we don't lose it. And now we can easily get to this bolt. And the primary reason we took this loose is so we can get to this bolt right here. It's neutral drop it. To 18 millimeters. Got lucky here, and the rotor actually wants to come off. Yeah, that thing is definitely gritty. Now let's get, sorry I can't get a good view on it. Let's get these 18s out of the back of here. I need to get a tripod or like a GoPro or something. I think that'd make these go so much quicker and actually show more tips than I show whenever I'm having to remind myself to pick up the camera. Leverage is my best friend. Okay, so we've gotten these all broken loose, and I also removed the 10 millimeter here, pulled this sensor out of the hole just so whenever we remove the wheel bearing and we're hammering and beating on everything, we don't damage this in any way, shape, or form. And then we're gonna take all these out, and then we're about to the point to where we get to hammer the wheel bearing out. Got all three of them out. Now it's time to smack this out. To get more of a powerful swing, I went ahead and I put this bolt back in. If you have one of these, you may be in good luck. But what you do is you put this on there, and it goes through two lug stud holes, and then you put your lug nuts on like that, and then use this as leverage to bang that off of there. Put the floor jack underneath the lower control arm so that the control arm wouldn't move as much, and I gave it a couple of smacks, and now it's working. I thought I had a couple more swings left before it came loose, but it came out, and it came out with a vengeance. But here it is. Here's the dust plate. So caked on, I'm gonna have to take a chisel. I've got that cleaned out fairly well. During the hammering process, I even knocked the vast majority of the rest of this tone ring off. This is what a tone ring looks like when it's not flaking off, causing a bunch of engine lights. All right, let's put this new one in. 3 bolts to put back in. Put thread locker on them. Got those in there, tightened and torqued with thread locker on them. We're gonna do this top bolt now. Move this over here. This bolt through there. This back here, torqued as well. We're going to hold our wrench there and put our impact on the other side. And most importantly, do not forget this guy. Otherwise you'll be in the same boat as before. Got everything hooked together, and Now we just got to put the wheel on and torque the lug nuts, and I will meet you in the car so we can see if we fix this thing. I'm pulling up the live data to see if we have action, and these should eventually go away on their own as we drive down the road. I've got you propped up right here. Now let's take this for a drive around the block. So all of the lights are gone from the dash, and all of the wheel speed is accurate on the live readout. But just for a final nail in the coffin on having this repair done to the best of my abilities, I'm going to look at the overall recorded graph. Here's our final graph, and as you can see, they all look fairly identical. Of course, there's going to be a few variations, but the important thing is that the light is off, and there's nothing on our live graph that gives us any sort of worry or indication that another tone ring is about to go. And most importantly, the one that we just replaced is working perfect. I am going to call that a fix. I am going to write a receipt up for the customer, and that is all for this video. I hope you learned something and it was of value to somebody out there, and thank you for watching.